Do it. Ah. That's all right. I'll figure it out on my own, my brother. I'll do it on my own. All right. That was fast. Goals. Auto goal. Bam. Oh, that's pretty cool too. Okay, my goal. Why ain't my goal overlaying? Skins. Let's see. Hold on, hold on, hold on. What up? Hold on one sec. I'm still trying to. I'm trying to get my everything figured out. Hold on one second. Did I do it? Oh, okay. That's what I did wrong. Okay, that was my problem. My fault. Let's see. What up? What's up, my brethren? Why is that not popping up? Uh-oh, I broke something again. Dang it. Oh, auto activate. There we go. How you doing? A neighbor said that fine tuning is red because if it wasn't, we wouldn't exist. Yeah, there's the problem is there's no possible way. You got crazy neighbors. Let's see. Why isn't that going there? Yeah. So fine tuning's not random, and they have no way to prove that. That's just a guess or something that somebody told them. So let you want to watch something cool? I'm going to show you something really cool. Watch this. Let me see if I got this one. Manhattan, right? Well, yeah, well, why is it not? Oh, that's the wrong thing. Okay. Uh, docs. All right, let me see if this works. Lol. Hold on, let me see. Is this working? No, why is that not working? Oh, come on. What did I break? Oh, that's not right. Oh, okay. Reload. I broke it. Hold on one second. One second. I'll show you something very interesting. There we go. There we go. All right, that was my fault. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Let me see something else. I want to say one. Dot, dot, dot. That's not working. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it works. Okay, so let's watch this real quick. Um, so this is one thing that we were talking about earlier. Let me get it set up real quick. Properties. one thing that we were talking about earlier about the 4 hour thing I was telling you about. I looked it up after we went off stream. Let me get it set up real quick. I'll show you. One thing leads to another. Okay, let's see. Where's it at? Oh. Looking for it. I'm looking for it. There it is. Okay.
Before evolution can even start, you have to have that.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. Let me set it up here. This goes to show you how insane all that stuff is.
First cell. Nobody has ever made a cell in a laboratory. Nobody's ever even come
close. About a couple of minutes ago, I watched some of his stuff. SMC.
The general public is totally clueless on this and misled. We've not even made a cell. We don't even know how to make a cell, and everybody is thrown off on this.
This was yesterday. Whole idea came out. Hold on.
Of the
2 months ago. 2 months ago. 2 months ago.
Everybody hears about in school. That's the extent of the model, and that is fallacious.
What are the sort of sacred cows that you're coming against? What are the things that the big questions that you're asking them to answer that they?
So this is the other side of the argument, right? So there's the side that you hear if you go to public school and whatnot, and then there's when you go to private institutions, you hear two different things. It all depends where you get educated, because you've got everybody in the science community. There's two different books of knowledge, and they want to make money on both of them. So a whole bunch of colleges and high schools and stuff buy curriculums. They don't make the curriculums up themselves. They buy them. And then some other schools will buy other curriculums to split up what's being taught, right? So
what to me it seems like it is assumed in academia, it is assumed in the general public that all of these questions have been answered. Here you are saying, answer them. What are these questions?
I've asked 5 questions. Those are not the 5 questions. Those are 5 of 5,000 that I could have asked.
Biochemist.
They're really 5 of 5,000, but they're some of the most basic, and they're not the hardest questions. They're some of the most basic. They're not the hardest. I have the whole list of other harder questions. And so how would you hook the amino acids together?
People have a problem admitting they were wrong, and this is what is going on here.
Together to make the polypeptides, which are these molecules that are all the proteins and all the vast majority of enzymes. Enzymes are the little molecular machines that construct us. So you eat ham and eggs this morning, and how is that a part of your body this afternoon? How did that happen? Well, enzymes broke down those structures and rebuilt them as part of your body. So the second class is, if you had nucleic acids, which I'll give to you, how do you make that into RNA? Because there's a whole hypothesis that's been around since the 1960s called the RNA world hypothesis. And they have all of these scenarios that RNA formed first. And what I show on this video is, if you happened to somehow get a string of nucleic acids hooked together, which I'm going to ask you to say, can you hook these together in the form that is needed to act as RNA? And the answer is no, they can't. But even if you had that, you only have about 4 hours to deal with it. So in other words, to hook it all together, it had to be totally pure. You couldn't have any other amino acids around. You couldn't have any other of these compounds around. Then it had to polymer. You only have about 4 hours. So this idea that
So even if this stuff was working in the ocean and these happen to form, they have to be formed in an area of complete purity. There can't be a shark fart, a freaking squid urine, a salt molecule, nothing in the salt water. So it would have to be a completely pure environment, or else it would degrade in 4 hours. So they're saying if we had millions and billions of years, it would happen. But no, you've only got 4 hours for part of our RNA to be. So it can't keep trying and add a little bit on every million years and fail. You can't. You have 4 hours with RNA. 4. That's it. And that's in a perfect laboratory environment, not in the ocean splashing up against the rocks. Sometimes just saying you're wrong and learn from it is better than all the money in the world. Right. And people, when they've written books and they've put a lot of efforts in and they spent tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars going to school and they've been taught this, and then new information comes along, they just disregard it. That's what he's going to say here. This guy's a scientist, and he's saying he's still a research scientist, and he's saying that these people just don't answer. Watch, he'll say they don't answer the questions. They just don't answer.
Well, you had billions of years. That's billions of years of trouble. Because
Right.
if something happened to form the right way, you've only got 4 hours. If you had a protein that happened to form, you only have about 13 days and the thing is gone.
13
So
days.
that's
If the whole protein was
Can
formed.
we zoom in, or can we just highlight that for a second? Because I think that is all of this, and it seems to me like a way of scientific that this is the core problem here. Is that right? Because can you just kind of repeat that again, or highlight that for me? You're saying that it go ahead.
Time is your enemy.
Your
Time
enemy.
does not help you.
Right.
It hurts you. Because
Hello,
the times
American.
that you have for the use of these molecules is very, very short. In the case of RNA, which is the primary hypothesis on how
These would only work if the body already existed. So you can't even get to RNA first without the body or the cell to protect it already existing. You understand? So they're saying all this stuff just ended up splashing around. That would degrade everything. That's a trash heap. It doesn't work. The body is what protects these things and allows them to happen, being done inside of the cell. Oh,
life might have started. You have no time. You have no time. You only have hours in order to use this. Hours. That's a big, big problem.
How do people respond to that? Like, what would someone that you're butting up against say in response to that?
You know what they say? Nothing. They have no response to that. You'll hear people. Recently, I heard a talk by Jack Sostek in, I think it was 2020, 2021, something. He did a talk at the University of Chicago, and it was a virtual talk during the COVID period. And one of the geologists said, we really don't have to have catalysis or anything because we have so much time. And Jack, who's an expert, and he's a Nobel Prize winner, and he's an expert in RNA, he said, actually, we don't have much time. You have to have chemistry that's faster than the degradative chemistry.
right.
And so
I mentioned this earlier. You have things that are fighting against everything. The universe is against you. So if people are saying, oh, no. If you had time, you would have time for it to rot. Remember, if we cut ourselves open, we start to heal. The blood would turn into scabs. You have all of these other things. If you put a drop of blood in the ocean, the salts and everything would degrade it. It degrades it. The world is meant to destroy everything, to bring it back to earth, not to create stuff from it, right? Everything, trees grow and then end up back in the earth. People grow, they end up back in the earth. And this, so everything, the universe, the planets are being slammed with asteroids and shit. So even if after 20 million years you got a cell, before now that cell would have been destroyed millions of times over with asteroids and floods and whatnot. It's just there's zero possibility. Zero.
you don't have much time, but he didn't park there and show and talk about the extent of how little time you have. You have on the order of hours. If you
So this is the other argument. So we hear about like how evolution from the like stuff slamming into the planet and the oceans mixing together eventually made our cells, and then it failed, and then this and that happened, and then evolution, and then we came out as a frog, and then a frog turns into a human or whatever. And the other side of the argument is that's not possible. We have all this evidence to show that that wouldn't work.
make a compound, if I make a compound in my laboratory and I have only a few hours to get it on to the next step, I am working very, very hard to try to cool that down, to try to stabilize it, to try to get it on in the next step. Hours is
Right. Here's another thing. The world used to be very hot as it was cooling down, according to evolution. It was too hot. You would have less than 4 hours. In an air-conditioned lab, when you have ice and liquid nitrogen and stuff that you can mix in at different times, the human is playing God. The human is making sure that worked. Something had to make sure that we got to where we were.
very short
This
amount
is
of
it.
time.
This
Now you
is
think on
the
a
alternate theory.
mindless earlier. So this whole argument of time is absolutely right. It is time of the gaps. They will insert time in their gaps and say time took care of this. And my
Right.
argument
Like, so what your buddy said, Robert, he said, it's just random. There was over billions of years. It was just random until eventually it got right. But it doesn't work like that. The chemistry outside of the body, it doesn't work. So you need the cell first in order to start having that random those random actions happen and the random changes. And there's another one where they tried to. I'm going to show you something else too. 1 second. I'll show you this. This one's a little more technical, but I think you'll get it. We can only change one letter in DNA and have evolution fix that letter. If you change 2 letters, it erases the whole part of the code in the DNA for whatever proteins or that it's trying to make. So if 2 letters in 6,000 get changed, and this is what evolution was said to do, it randomly. But if you get something that works and then 2 letters changes, it doesn't make it better. It stops. So you cannot evolve further because you can't have evolved and have a really big nose and then evolve to a smaller nose and then these cells and these chemistries and whatnot. Because after 2 changes, and I'll show you this, there's a lot of evidence for this. They just don't. It's not publicly put out for free knowledge. Alternative theory. What up, Zara? What is he protesting for? So there's all this other data saying that evolution is not the long, like the evolution of, we started off as a planet full of water and then cells came of that and then things started to be created. That's not true. He's saying it's fallacious. It can't happen. So we need to start figuring out the other ways to go, because everybody's talking about the evolution crawling out of the ocean, the human, the fish that crawls out of the ocean, and that can't happen. So why are we spending so much time about, it's already been proved to be fallacious, to be false, and they keep publishing about it, even though when you ask the people like, hey, well, we know RNA degrades in 4 hours, so we don't have a billion years with it if it's not inside the body, which is very, very interesting. What's going on? We should never mess with DNA. I agree, we shouldn't. It looks like a different type of life. What am I just landing on? Hold on, Space Cow. Give me 1 more second. Yeah, okay, let's watch Space Cows real quick, and then we'll go back to this. The other one's about 10 minutes, but I'll cut to the important parts. This freaking guy again, dude. This is what's
Think something like that. Take out my neighbor's husband.
Yeah, it will.
I'm gonna need me to get one of them then.
You getting on your nerve, huh? Yeah. Yeah, get a couple of them.
Get a couple.
If old lady's single, you know what that means, right?
What's that?
Time to make
Room for me to swoop on in there.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, she's a broad-looking gal, man. Two pizzas bigger than Georgia.
Oh, wow.
The whole state.
Oh, man.
I know it.
Better hurry and get it then.
Brother, I tell you what, I was right where you were about 20 years ago.
That's what I'm saying,
Before they
man.
turn the prunes.
Yeah, people don't listen. The problem is it costs so much. If you can create a curriculum and sell it to high schools and colleges and whatnot, and you're the author of the textbooks that colleges are $300-400, and what's in there has like there's other scientists have evidence against it. And you've already made your professor, the guy that did your, signed off on your PhD. Everybody's on your papers. They're all making hundreds of thousands of dollars. They don't want that. They hide it. And he talks about this in particular. And this is okay. Whatever. So DNA is. I have 3 nipples. Breeding out from plants. Right. But you can't turn the plant you're talking about into a human. You can't breed that. You can breed more strengths and whatnot, but you can't turn it into lawn grass. You know what I mean? Yeah. Phobia is human, right? Yeah, right. What do you think about the new type of word for the next step in humans? Stronger, faster, live extreme environments. There's more cramps. We'll see. Hey, what's going on? The Streak Man. Solution, right? I don't believe we evolved here. There's no way. There's no, and you guys just missed a part of it. He was talking about just with RNA, just with one sugar in RNA, only lasts for 4 hours outside of the body. So we couldn't even have created RNA just splashing around in the ocean. Jesus loves you, Mac, brother. All right, let me see. Let's go back to this real quick. I wonder if we go full cyber. We probably will. We probably will go full cyberpunk. Where am I at? This is really long. Let me we'll get to one part and then we'll continue on something else.
Hi, we're back here again with my
Okay, so here's the big point about science and science and evidence. Okay, you have, and he'll show you about it.
There's so 100 of these innovations are fundamental medical illustrations. There's a lot of science. Life come from or by verse fall on this particular.
Okay, here we're talking about evidence. The types of evidence they use.
We don't care
you
about
have,
that one.
You have low confidence evidence and high confidence evidence, but both of them are considered evidence. When we hear about there's evidence for this, they don't say when they publish it to the average person if it's high or low confidence evidence. They just say it's evidence because we're too stupid to realize that.
Observe it, the more you can have confidence.
Okay, but let me get into this part here.
Not like just adding easily election objectives up here, sure, where they and in again, and let me review that outside of happens.
Okay.
Purposely tested evolution by purposely breaking a gene and seeing if evolution can fix the problem. It's a beautiful study. So E. coli, the bacteria E. coli, are able to produce the amino acid tryptophan. And you should be jealous about that because us humans, we can't produce our own tryptophan.
Right.
We have to eat it.
It had to be
in order to get it, and
so
E. coli can make it.
We need tryptophan, but we can't create it. So why did we evolve to need it, even though it was being produced somewhere else on the planet? We'll die without it. Anyway.
Their own. And it's a complicated process, but one of the enzymes used to
I'm an alien, a little alien.
Shown here, tryptophan
I have Neanderthal DNA.
And that's what the tryptophan.
I'm Neanderthal DNA in me, which is a hybrid from evolution. That means you're Filipino. Is there a chance, a small one, but there's a chance we came from Mars? There's a chance. Right. Right, from. Yeah, I got you. Mars. Right. Water was on Mars. Right. but the size of Mars and the pressures on Mars would have created something different than humans. We would have been shorter. Anyway, watch this real quick.
Molecule looks like. So these investigators said, hey, if I purposely damage this gene, if evolution came up with this gene, certainly if I put a little nick in it, if I cause a little damage to the gene,
I'm from
then
Marx,
evolution should be able
Karl
to
Marx.
repair that problem, right?
Can I just mention something that tryptophan synthase, you don't mean that it is a gene, you mean that the gene that prescribes the building of the tryptophan synthase, correct?
Exactly, yeah. Thanks for clarifying that. So this is a protein. It's actually four proteins, two of the same kind, that join together to make this enzyme on a protein, but it's coded for in two genes.
E. coli.
Good point. So
Yes.
they modify the genes and therefore they produce protein.
And you need it. You need E. coli to be able to turn food or whatever into tryptophan. So they're saying the way evolution is taught now, they're taught that this converts to this, converts to this, converts to this, converts to that. A bunch of water mixed together and created a cell, and the cell turned into this, turned into that. But when it turned into something that could eat something, it needed something else. So somewhere else in the world that was local enough to be eaten by the new fish had to also contain tryptophan that our body knew nothing about, and without it we would die. So we wouldn't even get to the age of becoming an adult to reproduce for it to continue on and on and on and on and on. So it's like everything had to show up at approximately the same time.
Gene has been modified and less functional, and they're going to test to see if evolution can fix the problem. So in their first experiment, what they did was they changed just one letter, one nucleotide of the DNA.
What up, Cat?
And that was in one of the genes.
I never thought of it like that.
And now the produced enzyme.
Listen, I never did either until about the last 5 years. It's unbelievable. This is how easily influenced people are, and I was absolutely. I believed in it. I was taught it. Why would they? They teach us what a theory is, but they don't reinforce it. That this is a theory. There's nothing proven. It just seems like it's a probability. And then, when we're kids, we're like, oh, okay, so it's probably right.
Functions poorly. It can still produce tryptophan, but not nearly as well as it should.
So you change a single letter in the DNA code, and the enzyme functions, but it functions poorly. It's not as good. You would need more tryptophan.
To produce your own tryptophan, and then you could take over the population and be the champion. And so they did this, and what they found was, sure enough, after about 100 million E. coli were grown in the solution, supposedly a random mutation, fixed exactly the problem. It changed that letter of DNA back to the correct letter. The enzyme was now fully functional, and those bacteria took over the population because they could make their own tryptophan. Wonderful. So we see a success story for evolution, for random mutations and natural selection being able to fix this problem. So they tried another one. In the second experiment, they changed a different letter or nucleotide of the DNA code. And now they ended up with a completely dysfunctional gene, a completely dysfunctional enzyme that wasn't able to make tryptophan. And they put it in those same experimental conditions.
Right. So after it worked, after the DNA was coded properly and it made tryptophan, one change, it could fix itself and still make tryptophan. But if one more change is done, it deletes it from the DNA. And then and this is just tryptophan, not all the other shit, all the other proteins we need. This is just one, right? So you can't evolve. You would start from something and then evolve to nothing. Like things would stop working and you get sick. And this is what a bunch of genetic disorders are.
After about 100 million E. coli were produced in the solution, the problem was fixed by random mutations. And the E. coli with the repaired gene were able to make their own tryptophan. They took over the population. So once again, we see their third experiment where they had both of the DNA changes. So two nucleotides of the DNA were modified. And again, we have an enzyme that is not functional. But in order to get the function back, you got to fix two problems. And in this situation, they used the same kind of media with limited tryptophan. And they actually grew 9,300 generations of the E. coli in this media. And we're talking about like 1 trillion total organisms produced here. This is more than there are human beings, of course, and I would argue more than there have ever been, this many human beings in all of time. So it's a whole lot of organisms, a whole lot of opportunity for evolution to try to get a job done. And what they found was that, unfortunately, the function of the tryptophan synthase was never restored. And not only that, but the genes that are used to produce the tryptophan synthase were either deleted or simply suppressed. And the reason why that occurred is that evolution here is taking a shortcut. It's basically saying that producing faulty genes, producing faulty enzymes is using up tryptophan. And the tryptophan is a precious limited resource. So we're better off fitness-wise to just stop producing these broken enzymes, and we're more fit and just give up on that. And that's what evolution did. It took a shortcut rather than fixing 2-point mutations. So we certainly don't see any innovation here, certainly not worthy of a patent, and that's what this experiment showed.
If you do not believe in the physical resurrection of Jesus Christ, is he has this, which is the little colored thing in the top left of what he's showing now. And it's those enzymes that build the body. So what he did is he chose an enzyme that makes the amino acid tryptophan. Then what happens is, what was shown is that you can modify one letter in a very long string, one letter, and yes, the organism can go back and correct that and fix it. But if you change just 2 letters, what's produced has no functionality, and all this evolutionary pressure through many generations, it can't be fixed.
Right.
So even something as small as just 2 letter changes can no longer be fixed. And what the organism
means if there was one bug, one snake, one human, and 2 letters on your DNA was changed, you would not survive. And if it kept coming out of the ocean and getting to that point, and it was 2 different and then one different, it would take over 1 trillion repetitions before it would say, okay, now, well, and it never even happened in their 1 trillion repetitions. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work, and and without the protection of the immune system, other things could change your DNA. So you're more likely to have things that would change your DNA that would screw you up. So CRISPR changes entire segments of DNA to existing known working segments. Like if they know the segment of DNA that's for blue eye color, they would cut out your whole brown eye color segment and replace it with the blue eye color segment. So it's still proper code. It's like you have a video game where you have a thing that shoots a bullet, and then so you have another game and it was throwing a ball, but you wanted to change it over. So in this game, this code works, so you cut this code out and you replace this. That's what CRISPR does. It's like taking computer code and taking known working code and putting it in with known working code. But they were trying to prove evolution by saying all these changes, you would still grow up, and then your kids, and then eventually after millions of years and millions of babies, it would fix itself. But it's showing that it can't. After just two changes, it shuts off, and it says this is cost too much to. All right, what am I missing? You won't be disappointed. What did I miss? Agrobacterium is famous for its own genetic wackadoodle. What up, Tony? I didn't pay attention to the skull ending. Did you listen to that Vin J song I told you to check out? Forgot. I'll listen to it right now. You won't be disappointed. This is above my pay grade level. I don't think my cousin's grades are evolving, to be honest. DNA modification engineering should be outlawed. I agree, 100%. I agree. I would like to be a bit genetically altered a bit. But only a bit. We got XQC at home. What's up, Mr. Red? It's a cool song. Not like cancer, though, right? And right, this is the thing. We know about cancer. We know that cancer is a miswriting in your genetics. So we wouldn't go from a snake to a human. Just after a couple genetics, the snake would get cancer and it would die and it wouldn't reproduce. And so then it would have to start over again. But you're way more likely to have incorrect code than correct code. So it would take hundreds of trillions of iterations before you got that. And we know the expansion of the universe. So you don't have enough time on planet Earth to get a working one human, let alone a human man and women that can have sex together and make babies out of all these accidents. Space Cow reminds me of a nerd I used to bully in elementary school. Funny you bring up game. I do see Matrix scenario more likely than evolution. Right, absolutely, Liz, absolutely. I'll never be able to like it more than before. This is the thing that's amazing, right? Is that evolution does no longer make sense. It no longer makes sense. We know, and what you guys missed before is it's even worse than you know. So the other thing that we watched before this was him saying that when you make RNA,
start, you have to have that first cell.
before,
Nobody
right,
has ever made
before evolution can even start, you have to have a cell to evolve from. Right? Okay.
a cell in the laboratory. Nobody's ever even come close, and nobody even has an idea on how to do it. The general
Children
public
watching, by
is
the way.
totally clueless
Maybe
on
we
this
don't
and
need to look at
misled.
quantum,
We've
but
not even made a cell. We don't even know how to
Well, I
make a
think we
cell.
are.
Everybody's thrown off on this thing, and this whole idea of the primordial soup model that everybody hears about in school,
Right.
that's the extent of the model, and that is fallacious.
What are the
All right, let me just go for it here.
So how would you hook the amino acids together? And they're not the hardest questions. They're
here.
some of the most basic. They're not the hardest. I have a whole list of other harder questions. And so
6,000 is
how
what
would-
they're
how would
saying.
you hook the amino acids together?
So if you go by what's said in the oldest history book in the world, and it doesn't say straight out, and that's the problem. But it does, and we're finding meat and parts of DNA and blood cells in T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Soft tissues found in Tyrannosaurus Rex 2004. 2004 paleontologist Mary Schweitzer discovered flexible, fibrous, soft tissues inside of a 68 million year old Tyrannosaurus Rex femur. Include pliable, transparent, branching blood vessels, red-brown microstructures, and they're saying that shouldn't have existed. In order for it to be a fossil, it should have been completely replaced by stone. But now we actually have blood vessels and shit, and they're saying that seems very, very odd. There's a bunch of things that say the discovery challenges existing dogma that organic material cannot survive for millions of years. And so they don't know why. Now they're just like, well, we were wrong about that. The reason we said evolution was a thing and it happened over millions of years, the reason used to be because soft tissue can't last this long. This is why we don't find it. Then we found it, but they didn't tell everybody because it upturns the apple cart. And it's right there on Google, though.
To make the polypeptides, which are these molecules that are all the proteins and all the vast majority of enzymes. Enzymes are the little molecular machines that construct us. So, you eat ham and eggs this morning, and how is that a part of your body this afternoon? How did that happen? Well, enzymes broke down those structures and rebuilt them as part of your body. So the second class is if you had nucleic acids, which I'll give to you, how do you make that into RNA? Because there's a whole hypothesis that's been around since the 1960s called the RNA world hypothesis. And they have all of these scenarios that RNA formed first. And what I show on this video is if you happened to somehow get a string of nucleic acids hooked together, which I'm going to ask you to say, can you hook these together in the form that is needed to act as RNA? And the answer is no, they can't. But even if you had that, you only have about 4 hours to deal with it. So in other words, to hook it all together, it had to be totally pure. You couldn't have any other amino acids around.
Asking us to believe that this happened over millions of years, when even though if the splashes in the ocean was able to make RNA, even the backbone of RNA, not even the RNA, that only lasts for 4 hours outside of the body. It degrades, and that's only if it's in a pure environment. In a lab where we can cool it down and stuff, we can't make it last more than 4 hours. And the evolutionists, the previous evolutionists, are saying, please believe me, that just over enough time, after over hundreds of millions of years, eventually it would have just worked out. Just if we had enough time, just give us enough time. But they can never prove it.
You couldn't have any other of these compounds around. Then it had to polymer. You only have about 4 hours. So this idea that well, you had billions of years, that's billions of years of trouble.
Trouble.
Because if something happened to form the right way, you've only got 4 hours. If you had a protein that happened to form, that was there, you only have about 13 days and the thing is gone. So that's the problem.
Can we zoom in, or can we just highlight that for a second?
No. It was it was found. It was found. We had. There's actually a video. I watched a video of it. It's actually found in. It was found in hard rock. Where there was a whole thing about it. Here's the rock. I know it's a shitty picture. I want to go back to the video. But yeah, inside of it. So it should have been rocks, but no, it wasn't frozen. It wasn't frozen, and that's only one. They've found it many other times since then, and now we found lots of soft. We found embryos that have been preserved, and all of that. The whole point about fossils and fossil aging was from the presumption that if there's no soft tissue, that takes millions of years, and now we've found some. So either soft tissue lasts millions of years, or they're wrong about the millions of years.
Because I think acknowledging
For the use of these models not help you.
or highlight that for me. You're saying that it go ahead.
Time is your enemy. Time does not help you. It hurts you, because the times that you have for the use of these molecules is very, very short. In the case of RNA, which is the primary hypothesis on how life might have started, you have no time. You have no time. You only have hours in order to use this. Hours. That's a big problem.
How do people respond to that? Like, what would someone that you're butting up against say in response to that?
You know what they say?
Everything changes.
Nothing. They have no response to that. You'll hear people. Recently, I heard a talk by Jack Sostek in, I think it was 20.
Jojo, this is about. There's a whole upturn saying they were wrong about the theory of evolution, saying we started off as fish and then snakes and then turned into humans and whatnot, monkeys to humans, all that. It's saying it's not possible. There's no way that it could have been. The scientists used to say, just give me enough time, a couple 100 million years, and it would happen accidentally. But the chemistry that's required to make DNA and RNA outside of the body, it only lasts 4 hours. In the most perfect lab setup, it only lasts 4 hours. So it would never get to the point. And that's if everything's pure. The theory was that it happened in the primordial soup, a mixture of a bunch of goo in the prehistoric Earth.
2020, 2021, something. He did a talk at the University of Chicago.
Why would it not be
and
possible?
It was a virtual talk during the COVID period.
Why would it not be possible that these soft tissues would be able to be found very well in preserved bones? They weren't preserved bones. These were fossils. Fossils are supposed to be remineralized, where the bone is replaced with rock, and the rock and the theory was that's what happens over millions of years. Well, and 50s, 60s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, that was the theory. That's what we all learned in school. That's what all the textbooks were written on. In 2004, this lady found soft tissue in them. And then now a bunch of them has been found. So the theories are now, there's two theories, there always are, is either it doesn't completely turn into rock over millions of years, or it wasn't millions of years. So and we don't know. There is no Scott Bob. What up, Scott? Everything remained forever, different shape and different stuff. Well, and the interesting thing is we don't know. But that's why it's important to have an open mind and learn both sides, because there's always two sides, and sometimes there's 12. So, like, just because we hear of a theory of something doesn't mean there's not 7 other theories. They're just not as popular, or didn't get the proper advertising and put out in the proper and they got rejected by scientific manuals for whatever reason. Honey, it's an interesting one that can look upon similar tissue over 5,000 years, the oldest are honey. There's a lot of really cool stuff. We'll continue this for a second, and it's only about one more minute.
And one of the geologists said, we really don't have to have catalysis or anything because we have so much time. And Jack, who's an expert, and he's a Nobel Prize winner, and he's an expert in RNA, he said, actually, we don't have much time. You have to have chemistry that's faster than the degradative chemistry.
Right.
And so you really don't.
Right. So you have to have chemistry that's faster than the degradative chemistry. So they're saying if it just had millions of years to sit there and stew, eventually it would turn into the. But there's other things: the salts, the acids, the radiation would degrade it. It would get it back down to like a compost heap. If you put stuff in a compost heap, it doesn't mold together and form a car. It turns back into soil, which goes back to the beginning of the equation, not the end, right? And
don't have much time, but he didn't park there and show and talk about the extent of how little time you have. You have on the order of hours. If you make a compound, if I make a compound in my laboratory and I have only a few hours to get it on to the next step, I am working very, very hard to try to cool that down, to try to stabilize it, to try to get it on in the next step. Hours is a very short amount of time. Now you think on a mindless earlier. So this whole argument of time is absolutely right. It is time of the gaps. They will insert time in their gaps and say time took care of this. And my argument is no, time doesn't take care of this. Time actually hurts you. So you want to claim this thing of time, it hurts you. So that's what we're talking about with that. And then the sugars are the hardest class of compounds. You think, oh, sugars are easy.
I know.
Sugars are the hardest class because sugars have all these different tentacles and it can hook up to any one of these points. And if it hooks up to the wrong point, that's the wrong attachment point. And every disorder, every biological disorder can be traced back to also a disorder within the carbohydrates. So it's really fundamental to get that coupling right. Nobody knows how to do that. Nobody knows. There's people that throw out this idea, well, it's not RNA first, it's metabolism first. All right, you have metabolism. So you get a bunch of little molecules. Now what happens? You just say, now what happens? So Brandon, what they do is they don't confront to address me on this. They just don't answer. People say, well, why don't you publish papers saying that? Well, absolutely I have. I have published 5 papers in the field. They ignore them.
Right,
Clemens,
right. So him and many others publish papers about their findings that refute what these other people say, but they're selling their textbooks to every public school in the United States, 7 million of them per year, and so if you're selling every year, if your theory isn't proven wrong, you can keep selling those textbooks that have your theory in it. If his theory counteracts it or says it might not be true and they have to take it out, they got to reprint the books. So this is why it's not financially viable for them. They're not chasing the truth.
Right.
Anyway.
They ignored him. He says you can't have all this human interaction. He published this paper, I think it was 2018, Nature Communications. So they just keep ignoring all of these signs when people throw up roadblocks. And I'm not the first one to point out these problems, not at all. People have been writing books about this since the 1980s. Shapiro has been writing books about this. Carn Smith wrote books about this, and they are utterly ignored. So you say, what do
because the financial repercussions of it would destroy the businesses that are made. Anyway. That was my point, Robert. That was my point. Is that your friend it just doesn't know. Your friend doesn't know and wants to act like they know, and they make stuff up. All right, okay. Everything is material, and I'm a material girl. I think the answer is I'm a dog living in a material. What up, Scott? And the only you feel the need to declare yourself a dog because he says a material girl. The answer is pizza. Yeah, that was my. So I was trying to get to a point in 5 minutes in, so I made it play back faster. Your perception is biological process. It is. But why? Why is it a biological process, and who made the process, right? And why does it work so well? And why do the same eyes that are in humans, the rods and cones, and the way that the muscles that open and close, why is that exactly in other animals and whatnot throughout? There's a whole bunch. The thing is, people, they don't want to be proven wrong, especially when there's so much fame and fortune to be had. Material. See, I have to make it clear every once in a while that I'm the dog. doll. Good cat. People are very set in their ways. The discoveries of the past are hard to disregard no matter what evidence is found. Right. I don't get what's going on around here. I'm nerding out. What up, Vishal? But then different era, different fossils go through different types of decaying chemistry, causes fossils. Right. Well, right. So, Vishal, that's the thing is that we learn in school the primordial soup, that there was a stew of chemicals in the ocean in the early Earth, and that's what we all come from. And the thing is that it can't be done. It can't be done. And finally, there's enough information and scientific work of people that are trying to do it. And it just shows back, because Darwin didn't know about DNA. And Darwin did say, if the cell is more complex than I know, then I'm wrong. And he said that, but no one ever says that part. Good point, right? He does like it. He does like it. Stop buying toilet paper and use your hand and shampoo. Shampoo. I discovered 50 pence under my sofa today, winning. Brother, I found a quarter today, and I still have it in my pocket. So, 25 cents. I do know that we can evolve things. That's correct. I just don't understand the beginning. The beginning doesn't make any sense. I agree with that. And here's the thing. We can evolve. Muscle growth is evolving. If you're weak and skinny and you get a job moving cinder blocks, your body will evolve. But when you have sex with your wife and have a baby, the baby won't come out with muscles. It resets back to the pre-individual evolutionized part. Yeah, so it's not like, and then even if you and your wife work out and then have sex and have a baby, and then your son's wife and then work out, you will never have a baby that's form is already bulked up because it got that from their parents. So you have localized evolution, but not some splashing in the ocean made some DNA, and no, it's not. Like he said, the time is against you. The evolution scientists say, given enough time, hundreds of millions, billions of years, eventually it would. And the problem is it wouldn't. What would happen is the whole Earth will just rot down and it would just be a ball of soil. The universe is against growth. Science thrives best when old, strong theory debugs daily, or at least God's got challenged. Right. I like Vishal too. No friggin' way. We both found money today. W Day. What's up? That's right. Bunch of brokies. Yeah. It's and this is the stuff that I like. I love this. I love when I see people that are like, look, I found all this stuff out. We've done all of these experiments, and like the people that actually have their hands dirty, the people that actually get in the labs and mix the chemicals and say you're wrong. And then Evan just like, oh, wait a second. This is what I love. I love that stuff. I like you too, Zara. Yeah, this stuff's so great. It's so great. Dude, it's so awesome what people are doing. It's so awesome that like now that we can edit DNA. Did you know that when a sperm and an egg come together, a flash of light comes off? I said this the other day. But why would evolution make that happen? Why would, unless evolution knew that we would eventually be able to see a sperm enter an egg, there's no need for there to be a flash of light at all. And it's freaking amazing. It's so cool. So much love. I heart you, handsome. I'm gays. I understood. That's all right, my brother. That's all right. How do you feel about CRISPR? CRISPR, God's weird. Yeah. Look what he's done, and he's got a sense of humor. This is the thing. That's so freaking cool. Something out there is smart as hell. Something is tweaking the knobs. Something is turning the dials. Something is and whether we ever find out it is aliens or what, or we're just a freaking video game. It's absolutely awesome. It's absolutely awesome. But CRISPR is crazy. Inshallah, lightning bugs, flashlight bugs. Yeah. And lightning bugs, the lightning bugs are the females. That's the egg sacs on there. But in a female human woman, the eggs don't glow and the sperm doesn't glow. And when eggs and sperm touch each other, they don't glow. But when the sperm enters the egg and the genetics match together, there's a flash of light. Check this out. Let's watch it. What up, Senfei? Did the Christian guy? The Christian guy just say we're a video game. Yeah, I didn't say we are. I saying, but I think one of the cool things about Minecraft is like it's almost like you boot up the Minecraft server. Well, somebody booted up this Minecraft server, is what I'm saying. Okay, where was I at? Somebody booted up this Minecraft server. Where am I? Flash of light reliefs. Dang it. Flash of light released when an egg and a sperm meet. When an egg enters a sperm, let me find a short video. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's see. Ready? Let's make it bigger.
Video is under a special microscope and showing the moment of conception, the very moment that the sperm
I'm making it bigger.
enters the egg. There is a flash of light,
That's so freaking cool.
and the light has entered the world.
And God said, "Let there be light."
Like, this stuff is so awesome. This stuff is so freaking cool. They call it a zinc spark.
The instant a sperm fuses with an egg. This flash is no coincidence. It's triggered by a sudden surge of calcium inside the egg, releasing millions of zinc ions into the surrounding space, creating this incredible light show. But it's more than just beautiful, it's essential. The brighter the spark, the healthier the egg, a signal of its ability to support life. It also plays a role in protecting the egg, helping to prevent multiple sperm from entering. This is literally the first step in the process that led to you. If life begins with a flash of energy, what does that say about you? Right now, every cell in your body is generating over 1 trillion electrical signals per second, all powered by the same force that lit up the very beginning of your life. It's in every thought, every heartbeat, and every breath that you take. You're more than flesh and blood. You're a walking, living field of energy. So the next time you wonder what you are, remember, your light, your energy, and it all.
Yeah, and that stuff is freaking so awesome. All right, let's let me see. I'm gonna do something. We're energy. Like, will we find out in a couple of years that the inside of the female human waits to see that light, and that light is the trigger that tells the female's the uterus to not shed its lining. Dude, this is the stuff that I love thinking about. Sup, brother? What up? My son is freaking awesome. You still have Christmas decorations? Yeah, I still do. Hold on. Well, not outside. This is just in here. All right, so let's do this real quick. Hold on. Let's switch over to the phone. Let me do this first. Bang. Uh-oh, I broke something. Remote camera feed. Oh, hush. Okay. It's going to be wackadoodle for a second. Hold on. The audio will. I'm going to go change the propane tank. It's cold out. Jeez, it's freaking cold out here. I can't see the chat while I'm doing this, so. Does this work? I don't think it works. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, I can. Hold on. Oh, hold on, almost there. I don't know why I did that. Oh, geez. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man, it's heavy. Jeez. Hold on, working on it. Hold on. Oh, jeez. Don't worry about it. Hold on. There we go. All right, I got it. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Jeez Louise. All right, let's see. Whew. All right. Oh man, that's cold. Hey, my hair. Oh, geez, it's cold. Oh, it's cold. Oh. Dance party. All right. Jeez Louise. Oh. All right, hold on. Zeitlich. Yo, it's almost Eastern. That's why the Thomas Edison did the old generator. I have much more kid to light up the house. I'm going for a walk. 10 degrees Celsius there. Oh, it's warmer than it is here. I'm gonna sit on my heat vent. Someone's back there. Oh man, it sucked. All right, but that stuff is so dang cool that yeah, I've done that dozens of times, definitely more than 20. I refuse to go outside. Oh, you did it for us, bro. You don't have to do all that for us. We don't deserve psychosis. Yeah, no, yeah, they're like 20 feet. These are only 10, well, not only, but they're 10, or like, that's, yeah, 10. Yeah, listen, the world is changed in 15, 16 years. This house and land was $200,000. Ain't happening like that no more. 20 feet, yeah. No, I'm very, 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 very lucky. Very lucky. Yeah, very lucky. So the house that I lived in Maryland was on 0.7 acres, and it was connected to the neighbor, very small yard, and everything. That house sold for $215. This was 16 years ago. This house had some problems, 1.75 acres, and sold for $205. Invested the $215,000. The investment pays this mortgage. I'm looking for another house in Florida again now. to then sell this house. When I sell this house, the sale of this house will pay off my old mortgage, or the mortgage on this house and the new house. That's what I'm looking for. 3.2 meters floor to ceiling. Yep. Yeah, I was lucky. So this house was built in 1994 for a guy in a wheelchair. So it's got wide doors and wide hallways, and it's all on one floor. It's got an upstairs, and that's got a what you call a bonus room, and that's where the water heater, HVAC system, and stuff is. Yeah, it was you can't do that anymore. You can't get a house and land for $200K anymore, and alone, which was good, You can't do that no more. Oh, it's cold too. I could reach my ceiling if I stretch a bit. Yeah, that's what the old house is like too. Yeah, if I stretched enough, I'd be able to get there. Let me see if I can do this. Dang it. Oh, there we go. Yeah, but that shit is so cool. The egg, like, lighting up like that, it's so freaking awesome. And, like, all this stuff that I've learned, all this stuff that, why don't they teach that in sex ed? Why don't they teach about the light that happens? Like, how long has that been known? And we've been doing an artificial insemination for what, 40, 50 years. So they've known about this. Why hasn't, why isn't it so amazing that they tell us that in school? I mean, they tell us about the egg and sperm meeting plenty, and that more than one sperm can't enter an egg, but they don't tell you all that. Bro, it can be the first sentence of any religion book. And it should be. It should be. You know what I mean? It's like, and this is the stuff that really, it really irritates me. Oh my God, that would change everything. Right? This is my point. Why did it take me till I was 45 to start getting this information? I was like the atheist scientist. You guys are all crazy. We've done the experiments. Primordial soup. Read a book. This is what I used to tell people. Now it's like, no, never mind. I read the books, and then I started to look into everything, and it's just like, we're definitely created. We're definitely created. There's this too. There's this too. Let me say. Smartest man in the world asked about God.
Does God exist?
Yes.
Simple as
yes.
that.
The reality has an identity. Okay? The identity is that as which something exists. Okay? Matter of fact, when you say the word reality, you're naming an identity. You're identifying something. This.
I'm smiling because your answer on this is so beautiful. It just reminds me of Moses at the burning bush. And Moses at the burning bush says, "Who shall I tell the people that you are?" Talking to God. And God says, "Tell them I am that I am."
That's right.
I am identity itself. I'm being himself.
That's exactly right. And that's what the CTMU says. It just comes up with the mathematical structure that you need to build a reality out of that. You see? So you come up with that identity, and then you search it for its properties. You see, once you've built the preliminary framework, then you start deducing the properties of this identity, and you find out that those properties match those of God as described in most of the world's major religions.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Are those electron reactions, calcium we see in light? So it's a calcium ion transfer. There's a lot of calcium in seminal fluid, and then that causes a bunch of. Have you ever seen this? Let me show you this. Hey, Lamb, Vishal's intelligent. No, he's definitely intelligent. I've been impressed by him, Zara. We don't know much, but we know people in society, and we can change it if we want. I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. I also agree that meditation and prayer also has something to do with that too. And whether you go by the books that are written about it, and whether you think of the books that are written about it as people trying to explain things the best they can with the knowledge they have over thousands of years, or if you take them literally, but regardless, this ain't no accident. I might just be bullshitting, Zara. No, he ain't bullshitting. Thanks, comrade. And hold on, I forgot what I wanted to show. I'm gonna say calcium. Okay, hold on, let me see. Electroluminescence in water. Bioluminescence. Sorry, bio. Yeah, check this out. Look at this. This is
insanely bright. Oh my gosh. And we got a plane in the background too. This is epic. Oh my gosh. This is so bright.
And so you can see cool videos of this when boats go through the water. When boats go through the water, you can see a big trail. And back during World War II, when we started using planes a lot in war, we could see boats that went through these areas that actually. So this stuff happens, but they don't teach this stuff a lot in school. I would like to rewrite the curriculum. There's just no way that they would let it in. I meditate and sleep to frequencies every night since 2011. It works great. It works great. How you doing, Natalia? My name's Richard Rust. Do you have a theory on how it all began? So I'm going to tell you, and you guys can follow along or not. Fred Hoyle believed in intelligent design. It's definitely intelligent design. I've got listen. I have zero doubt that I'm 100% sure this wasn't an accident. Dang Zara, that's some long time to do something daily. My name is Carl Oscar Strusen. There's touch-sensitive water. So it's bacteria in the water that, like, just like a glow bug, that like says, oh, something's around, I'm going to glow. It does that. So when it says, hey, we live here, and him walking through the water ruffling it up makes them say, hey, be careful, there's something dangerous around. I mean, that's basically what you can say. So let's do this. What up, Matumbi? Yeah, I started when I worked at Kuhlman's, when I would get headaches adjusting warranty claims, then starting to fall asleep to them. Hey, there you go. Okay, there's something I wanted to show. University classes have been canceled for 2 days in a row so far. All right, let's see what he's got going on here. I wanted to show something, but I forgot. Oops. Let that sink in. Yo, did you hear 8 billion people
Did you hear we just hit 8 billion people in the world?
There's 8 billion people.
I know, let that sink in.
Okay, yeah.
I saw that.
Yo, did you hear we just hit
8 billion people in the world? Juice Joka Solo Solomon. Yeah, can it react to foreign water or dirty water? Let's take a look at it. Let's say, this is what I wanted to show you. Right. Bioluminescence. Bioluminescence boats. All right. Hopefully, we can find something. Oh wow! Look at this. Look at the bioluminescence around the water. And then she's just dragging something in.
This is a bioluminescent boat tour here in Cocoa Beach, and we're gonna speed up the boat, watch the boat start glowing. You guys ready?
Yep.
Wow.
That's the motor of the boat behind the boat. All right. Oops. What causes bioluminescence in the water? Okay, bioluminescence is caused by a chemical reaction in marine organisms. Single-celled algae called dinoflagellates. When disturbed by movement, waves, fish, or paddles, the plankton emit a blue-green light, often a defense mechanism to confuse predators. The glow occurs when luciferin reacts with oxygen, a process facilitated by luciferase. Pretty interesting, huh? I don't work at a computer anymore, thank God, but if you're working in a cubicle or something, it's a godsend. Cubile. I'm young, cubile. 7-6 semen. 7C6 semen. 6 salmons in a salmon box. Yeah, that shit's so cool, man. This is so cool.
These guys discovered this really weird looking water that seems to glow whenever they touch it, but there's actually a really cool reason for why this happens.
Instantly.
It's caused by these small organisms called bioluminescent plankton. And whenever these plankton are moved or disturbed, it causes a really cool chemical reaction that make them glow.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. Keep going, keep going.
Yeah, that's so amazing. That's so amazing, dude. Well, I'm off the radar through I sit tons of times in front of my PC, right? So I tell you what's really, 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 really interesting is it like if you like ever look into cats purring, like why they purr, and one of the theories is the frequency that cats purr at helps repair their bodies, like it can you know, our bodies repair themselves when we sleep. So like when cats are purring, when they're chill, when they're not worried about danger being around, their bodies go into that kind of like sleep state. I mean, even though they're awake, that their bodies start repairing themselves. So they started using that. And one of the interesting things that apparently, and I can't promise you this is true, but the new weapon, the discombobulator that they're talking about with the American military that makes people just like noses started bleeding and they feel really blood pressure in their heads and their hearing goes. Apparently that's just a couple of, it's a few frequencies that overlap. So it's not just one frequency, it's multiple. And then when those multiple frequencies bond together in the same phases, it creates, if you know what I'm talking about. I'll keep you my dirty little secret. Being in a cubile is depressing. I refuse. I have a cat too. I've heard about that. Yeah, it's crazy. Cats are pretty. Okay, let's see if we can find something here. Let this sink in. Cats purring to repair their body. Oh, come on. Okay, so here you go. And look at this. This is just straight up on the freaking Google response. Cats purr at a frequency between 25 and 150 hertz, which correspond to therapeutic ranges that promote bone density, stimulate tissue repair, reduce inflammation, and alleviate pain. This low energy mechanism helps cats heal from injuries such as broken bones. Tendon repairs without expending significant energy, serving as a vital survival mechanism for their recovery. So absolutely, like, and you know how like you get the Tibetan monks that pray like with these deep guttural chants. Pro frequency. What up, lamb chop? Should I go to university, Richard? I will have completed my academic level high school at community college by the end of the month. I'm 20 now, not sure. What do you want to do, Joe? What do you want to do? Don't go to college if you don't have a plan that involves college. Where do you want to be in 5 years? And does that involve a college degree? That's the Delta range. My Swedish accent has the same. What up, Alicia? I hope so. I have the best hospital here, bro. Can we add yeast to water so that become time glowing? Let's say fish for safe. You can try. Have you heard of Hemisync. That sounds very familiar. And if it's for the C word, I think I know what you're talking about. I'll look it up real quick. Hemisync. That sounds so familiar. And then I got you, Space Cow. So Joe, yeah, you don't know, then don't go. Do not go to college if you don't know what you want to do. If you say I want to be a doctor, then you need to go to college to be a doctor. If you say I want to whatever and it doesn't involve college, do not waste the money. The $100,000, $80,000 that you would go into debt. Say you make $60,000 a year when you get out. After taxes and fees on all of your student loans, you're probably going to pay back 2 years worth. So it'll be 4 years before you start, 6 years before you start making money. If you skip college altogether and just start working to go towards something, yeah, don't try to figure out what you want to do in life in college. Because usually there's a lot of drinking and bullshit involved, and that just slows you down. Most people don't use a degree. Yeah, okay, let me see. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, helmet sync. Yes. A binaural, yes, absolutely. I absolutely remember this. Absolutely. Yep. They even had it's like 432 hertz or something. Let me see what it says. It's probably different on different songs, but absolutely, I absolutely remember. I remember this CD. Absolutely, yes, yeah. What's up, Paul? Yeah. If you don't know, do not go. If you don't know, do not go. What up, Paul? Oh dear, Space Cow. I just noticed that you quoted All American Rejects. Damn. It's been a while. I feel like I've been on here less consistently compared to before. That's all right. We're still around there, Lisa. I don't listen to Hemisync, but you can have some hella lucid dreams from that. So this is what I remember. I remember there used to be glasses that you could get that had LEDs over like what would be your eyes. And when it like you connected it to a timer, and then when you fell asleep after however many hours it was, when you should be in REM sleep, it starts flashing the LEDs to let you know that, to try to wake up your subconscious or speak to your subconscious to let you know that you're asleep and you're dreaming. So then you can get conscious of it, semi-conscious, and then lucid dream. Yeah, I've never done it. Legend. Are you blaming me for Chi not coming around? It's annoying to me. Like I have more balanced frequency, not back and forth one of my ears. I think it depends what's wrong with you is how you need it. Paul Blart made a rare appearance. Paul Blart. Yeah. How you good? Hey, sorry, everyone. I've been in the Western Sahara. No problem, my brethren. Welcome back. I just checked Hemisync, and it sounds more like torture than sleeping music. 432 is the Schumann resonance, for which the name of the man who discovered is the same frequency of the Earth. There you go. I absolutely remember that. What up, Bon? What do you think about the latest ice shooting? What do we have to discuss? Listen, I've got one thing to say about it. Stay away from federal officers, Republican or Democrat. You dying is not going to stop them from doing your work. You can't affect change dead. That's it. That's all I got to say about it. Afghanistan 2025, baby. It's 783 in the I was about to say in the morning. 783 in the 7 hertz. 783 hertz. Do you recall last experience of getting slapped with a yardstick by a nun? I was spanked with a yardstick by a nun. Her name was Sister Rambo, Rambo. She worked at Arthur Slade. That's where I'm sorry. Yeah, Arthur Slade. Arthur Slade. That's where I went to school. Do not resist. Agreed. Irene McKay. Stay away from Irene McKay. Sister. All right, let's see what Mr. Bond put here. Oh, Space Cow's got something. Let me do this. We got this, and this, and this. We'll do Space Cows, then Mr. That looks like my floor. Come on.
Hungry, I'm not gonna lie. What is that? Bro, is that a Dunkin' Donut? I'm hungry, I'm not gonna lie.
You kidding me? It's... All right, where's...
So I've told my parents I'm still in Pakistan. Thing is, we're close, but that's not Pakistan.
Bond, can you find a YouTube short of this, or we could watch it after 9? It's 25 minutes long, so if you can find a short version of it, like under 3 minutes, we'll watch it now. Else we'll have to watch it after 9. It's 8:15 now. Are you sure it wasn't Sister Mary Elephant? Dun, 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 dun. It definitely was. Her name was Sister Rambo. Later, dude. I'll be around. All right, my friend Frank. Say hello to my little friend, dude. I do. They used to spank the back of your thighs. Would you consider getting high and tight, Rich? No. Lovely lamb lunch, Irene McKay. Behave. I just saw your message. No, yeah, no. I'm happy with my look, and well, maybe at some point in life, maybe, but yeah, I mean not. The bathroom is the worst place to receive food. Agreed. I said hi a while ago, but I don't think you saw it. What do you think of the Senegalese and Gambians? By the way, I've been with many past few weeks, and I just say different aggression levels to Caribbeans, even though they're all from Western Africa originally. Brother, I don't know hardly anything personally about Senegalese or Gambians. There is a very interesting, interesting aggression level. It's odd that you said that. That's pretty much how they're differentiated. But yeah, I don't know a whole lot about them except for the different aggression levels. Did you say high cat? High and tight. It's a haircut. It's like what the military gets. The high and tight, like high top and tight to the sides. Yeah, it's a haircut. How do I summon my wife? Is there a specific tactic I have to endure? Yeah, I'll show you. Haircut, high and tight. This is a high and tight. It's your standard military haircut. I'm a stud. I don't know if it's like ND and I are physically connected. Military. What is a good haircut? Hey, thank you, Fish Sticks. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Fish Sticks. Lamb, a good haircut is bald. Yeah. Bald doesn't suit me. Bald doesn't suit me either. They're even racist towards their own similar skin colors. That's kind of what I was getting at. Like that they're differentiated by their levels of aggression, not their skin color or whatnot. Yeah, I that's about all I know, and that, I know that from Frank Zanu. I have Turkish hair. You do? A lot of people seem to go to Turkey for those. I don't actually think mohawks are that great. It's hard to say what haircuts are like for men. I had mohawk for years. It basically looked like this, but if I pulled my hair up, it was shaved on the backs, the undersides. Mama's favorite haircut during my childhood. What was what? High and tight? But there are definitely some guy haircuts that I don't like, no matter what. All I have is my hair. Richard, would you cut your long hair and get high and high tight for 40 grand? No, I wouldn't, Alicia. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, it was free thought though. Why do you want me to get a high and tight so bad? A man's mental state is measured by his haircut. Listen, yeah, I agree 100%. The last time, before the last time a few months ago that I cut my hair short was I had really long hair playing music and whatnot, and then when I stopped playing music, I got a haircut. I was taking my dog to the vet, and I had a caravan. It doesn't matter at the point. I had a caravan. I was trying to put my dog in the car. She was at the end of the road, and my hair flew in my face, and I couldn't see it. I smacked her head on the side of the truck, so I got a haircut. Anyway, but that was that. I haven't done that, and then I've done one of those since I've got down here. I've kept it, like when I had it like semi-short, like eyebrow length, I kept it that for a bunch of time. But Space Cow Anton Krieger had awful hair. Ross had bad hair in the earlier seasons of Friends. I sang Vishal. I was a singer. I kind of agree. I was happy just being bald. Uh-oh. And bowl cuts are bad on men. And really, yeah, dorky bangs. Because you won't be a what? You won't be a scientific rock star anymore. Right. This is part of my being. I smacked her. Freaking Paul. Uh-oh. This is definitely lamb coming in. Let me see. Let's see. There you go. We got some lamb hair here. I can probably do this and then this. We got lamb hair. Bam. Bam, hair, lamb hair. Oops. What are you smacking? It was my dog, Sandy. I smacked her head against the caravan trying to take her to the vet accidentally. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Lamb is still G, top G. Better not anything besides a head. One of you guys want to come on? Okay, yeah, I can do it. It'll definitely take a little while because I've completely changed my setup. I don't have those presets. I switched operating systems. So, but I can make it happen. I can make it happen. I just gotta, yeah. Paul is the governor. The governor. Cat must know what that's like. Cat must know what it's like to be me. Oh, head. Got the head voice. You guys are ready to go. Oh. If you want to come on, I can swap back to Windows and no comment, Space Cow. Try pulling your hair back. I could probably put it into a ponytail now. I don't have. Listen, I'm good looking, Alicia. You got to be careful when you tell me to do things like this. What's up? I'm gonna go out for a bite to eat and... Oh, never mind. I was about to say something stupid. Good boy. Good boy. I'll come home briefly, but I'm sober. It's all right. Well, when I take a break from here, I'll reset everything, and then I'll get you back on. Probably be like 9, probably like 40 minutes. Get Paul on screen. What up, Medusa? Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. I'm looking good. Fair enough. I'd say 4 out of 10. Hey, but I think I'm a 6 out of 10. That's the important part. 4 out of 10. 99999999999999999 Space Cow 9999999. Lovely Lamb Lunch is gonna get himself fired. Dude, there was this guy they're talking about. Let me see. It was a. I want to say, I was gonna say a professor, but it wasn't a professor. He taught kids, and he was talking about like the kids that like every time they ask like the answer to a question, and some kid like for a math question, like what's 4 + 9, and they'll be like 6 7 6 7 6 7 6 7, like it's just gone way overboard. Like the kids are freaking screwed. Hello there, John Lennon. Hello, Yelnese. John Lennon. I ate a whole pizza. Now, seriously, for your age, probably 7, but not bad. That's all we got to say. My brother had long hair, but he cut it off for his job. No. It was a video I saw. A bunch of like teachers and substitute teachers talking about how bad kids are today. And one of the guys was like these kids, they're just stuck on memes. They don't want to learn anything. They're like, why do I need to learn it? I can just look it up. I can just chat GPT it, and So, who's looking better, Lamb or Rich? Me. Yeah. 3.14 159. You can go 3.1242. Bro, can you write a 51-page thesis for 67? It would be revolutionary. How about if I write a 67-page? Do you recall how many times you've asked about 1,000, probably? Hair is much more important than talent. I agree. Right. Listen, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, when I was a youth, I remember putting in an application to get a job at a gas station. And they were like, show up Monday with a haircut. I showed up Monday without a haircut. They were like, you got to go get a haircut. I was like, take this job and shove it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The thing is, if somebody makes you cut your hair when you don't want to, talk about insecurity and shit. I've never had to do it. Like, I never did it. I was told to do it, but I never did it. But yeah, if I'm going around, especially when you're a kid and you're getting your style, and then they're like, no, you have to change it. And it's just like, yeah. Hell, you know what I'm saying? She knows what I'm saying. I mean, he knows what I'm saying. Sorry. He knows what I'm saying. Good job. I have hair then. I don't know. Hair is much more important. Zara knows what she knows what I'm saying. There we go. A receding hairline in the 20s is worse than cancer. Do you know that Vishal? I think I might have mentioned this to you. Oregano oil and rosemary oil. You have to, a couple of drops in about 10 or 20 drops of coconut oil. A lot of testosterone, DHT, dihydrotestosterone, is one of the biggest reasons for what they call hair fall. And you can reduce that locally, topically, and make your hair start to grow back. And if it's from a fungal infection, it'll kill that. Antimicrobial, a lot of people, they don't have no idea. But yeah, a lot of people, if it's not genetic, you can regrow your hair. I know else is terrible hair, Joe Capobianco. The Native Americans kept their hair long because they believe there's a spiritual connection or something. Right, and in the Bible, Samson kept his long hair to believe that's where his strength was. It looks like someone gave him a toilet, a swirly. Yeah. No, my apologies, y'all needs. I was going between you and Zara. Zara's a girl. That mofo has a Hershey kiss on his head. Never happened to me. Oh, come on. Oils don't work when a follicle is. Hold on. You ready, brother? Hold on, my friend. One second. Oregano and rosemary oil for hair loss. Rosemary and oregano oils are effective natural remedies for hair loss and scalp health. Studies show rosemary oil can be as effective as minoxidil, Rogaine, in promoting hair regrowth and inhibiting hair loss caused by andronic alopecia, while oregano oils acts as an antimicrobial and antifungal agent to cleanse the scalp, reducing dandruff inflammation that can hinder growth. So if it's been burnt or something physically like that, but if the follicle has been dead, deactivated, it can cause usually by dihydrotestosterone, DHT, it can reverse DHT damage. So not 100%, absolutely not, and you might not get all your hair back, but as long as it's not a completely dead, like blowtorch part, and no, it's I know it's odd to hear. Most people never hear it because they don't talk about it. People don't talk about it and all. It's very interesting. And a lot of times people that do hear this use the oils by themselves. That will burn and damage your scalp. It's like a chemical burn. So you have to, and okay, well, here you go. Hold on, it says it right here. Rosemary, let me get this off the screen. Rosemary oil improves circulation, has anti-inflammatory properties, and may block DHT from binding to hair follicles, which prevents hair loss. Studies suggest it's a good alternative to minoxidil with similar results, encourages regrowth in the Cleveland Clinic Health Essentials and National Institutes of Health, whether how much you give to them, NIH.gov. Mix 5 drops with a carrier oil, jojoba or coconut, and massage into the scalp or add it to your shampoo. Always dilute these oils. I know it sounds like freaking wackadoo. I understand absolutely. I thought the same thing. But yeah, if it's dead, then it's dead, right? But yeah, if it's deactivated, you can reactivate it. Alopecia is considered genetic, but now it's not considered genetic anymore. Genetic, so it can alopecia can trigger DHT around the follicles, causing hair fall. But then you can deactivate it locally with rosemary oil and what's it called? I know it's crazy. Got to get my friend talking out to me. What up, DNA Mindset Matters? The Viscol I'm taking for hair growth seems to be working. Viviscol. Do you recall the last time you got the short end of the stick? It happens often. Like a week ago, Space Cow. Lovely lamb lunch. Please don't say how many females I've been acquainted with the past few weeks. I actually might add them too. Minoxidil. Never do. Paul, do you ride a Segway to work? When you have multiple girlfriends, Paul, what do you think about the people who say it's normal to lose 50 to 100 hairs a day? I disagree. I disagree. You can lose 50 to 100 hairs in a day, but it should not be daily. It shouldn't be daily. I have a lot of hair and I don't. Like if I do that, I can pull out like a hair or two, but I do that 1,000 times a day and I don't pull out 4 or 5 hairs every single time. But I'm also not a professional in that, but I think that has to do with aging. And think about 100 hairs a day. It would be a lot. I mean, maybe they're just being left around in other places. But how many hairs are on the scalp? Let's see. Average number of hairs on a human scalp. 90,000, right? Okay, so, and how many, and then so you would constantly have small spiky hairs because then you would have hairs that were an inch long and inch and a quarter long, all over the place. That just seems like a lot to me. I may have my math just wackadoodled out. 100 a day. Oh man, what up, circus brother? That sending that voice note came home with me rich saying, "Damn, hell's to the yeah. Discretion is my middle name." You're right. There you go. Actual factual. Actually, non-factual. I agree. We're slightly less hairy apes. Yeah. Good. I'm glad you're not around being like a player. Average hairs on the human growing. Peach fuzz hairs all everybody's. Yep. That's very true. Yes. Let's see. Let's put scalp. I put head. Let's put scalp. Scalp. Yeah, 80. Usually, well, redheads have the fewest at 90,000 hairs. Black hair has 100,000 to 500,000. Yeah, that's crazy stuff, though. All right, 8:30. All right, everybody, let's do this. So I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I should be back at 9. I got to double check that. I just switched the tanks in the greenhouses, so I got to make sure the plants stay proper, warm, and everything. So I got to make sure that's lit. I got to make sure that the electric heat that I put in the chicken coop stays. So it's taking probably about a half hour. I'll be on after that. Bro, come on. Don't give everybody the knowledge to stop hair fall and then do the turkey surgery and then buy the mansion. Come on, dude. Everybody's got to have a game. Yeah, we'll do it. Oh, hold on. All right, hold on. We'll watch a hair transplant video real quick, and then we'll get back to it. I'll get to my jam. Uh-oh. Please tell me this is you, Paul. Oh, it is Paul. Paul, you weren't kidding. That's so freaking crazy. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Holy crap, dude. That's you, dude. Come get some hair. Embarrassing, but still for the group.
Flight was good. Flight was good. No problems. I'm here because my hair's going. I'm starting to go bald.
Going bald?
And I'm going to get my hair done tomorrow. Let's go.
Just probably a discount for these being recorded, probably. You are really? You're on National Turkish TV.
We are here. Facilities are excellent.
Was this? Oh, I was about to say. I was about to ask. Was it free? What was it? What's it called? Was it a sponsorship?
I'm here on the balcony now in the sunshine. Let's get into it.
Yeah,
Let's get some hair. Let's go.
Let's get some hair. Oh wow, they're doing a bunch. So did they remove it from the back of your neck? I love this guy. He's like the anti-vegan lady. What up, J-Dog? Great clinic, but I wouldn't recommend the procedure. Our very own anti-vegan lady. I've never seen you without a cat, mate. Oh, they do. They did take it from the back of your neck? That's what you're saying?
We did my hairline, and I thought I'd change a little bit there, and he just I'm not going to go into full detail, but I just thought it was really good, and the guy was really professional.
Plucked it from his arse. I would fight a polar bear for this dude. Bam.
All right, here we go. Just had my hair cut, marked up. Now we're through the doors. We've got a lot of rooms here.
Dude, it looks like you're on the Starship Enterprise from the great Star Trek. What was it? The Next Generation. That's what it looks like. I was wearing a dress. Was recording this all awkward for you, Paul? Yeah, Star Trek: The Next Generation. That's what it looks like. The lighting, the LED lighting in the ceiling and stuff like that. Star Trek. The future is now. They didn't knock you out. Wow, did it suck? I guess they numbed the dog jaws out of you. Yeah, wow. And that's it? One visit? Back on the airplane?
And I said, you know, you've got to do loads of research because, yeah, I needed loads before you came here and I accepted to come here.
Yeah,
Mr. Smithers.
So
They
you
offered me
did
fentanyl and I
massive
said,
research.
no. Unlike me.
No.
That's your mom. Okay, why'd they push him in the van like that? Right, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so the donor area that's what's covered by the black Jamio. How many days, Paul? How many days did they work with you? It looks like that's not the next day, is it? How many days were you there? So this is the stuff that they call just 6 hours. But 7 hours. Okay. So red light therapy is with the stuff in America they call voodoo. They call it pseudoscience. Everywhere else in the world uses it, but they don't want you using it in America. It's bullshit. But no, it works. It absolutely works. But yeah, is that crazy? Did you get a head massage?
And I'd recommend it to all of my followers. I've been posting stories, and I'm going to post regularly about this. I know there's ones in England, but they're not like this. You know, like I've referred to, this is like a Beverly Hills type clinic, but at a fraction of the price. So why would you not? Why would you put your hands in someone not as safe? Because I know in England we have some that aren't exactly great. Or if you go up to the expensive ones, they're severely expensive. So absolutely would recommend. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your clinic for doing that.
I don't know about the hair right now. It's red light therapy. Is it okay? They are using it now.
I've been in good hands, and thank you very much. And I'm off now, and I'll see you when I'm.
Yeah, 6 hours.
Lovely. Vera Clinic, big up.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Here's the result.
I must say, I'm amazed at the results. I mean, the thickness, the length, and also the fact that my hair looks a bit messy because I need a haircut. Now, I haven't had to say that for over 10 years. I just was shaving my hair off because bear in mind, I was over 50% bald all up here. And now I have this real thick hair. And this is, 12 months after the transplant, right? It's going to keep getting thicker. Between 12 and 8 months is the finished product. Obviously, it'll keep growing in length, but the thickness. So I'm quite impressed by these results, right? And another thing I want to say is the side parts and the back is where they take the hair from, obviously the grafts. And I had almost 5,000 grafts taken and put on here. And look at the thickness still. I was expecting it to be like thinner.
Did you notice anything from the donor area? Can you talk good about our clinics, Paul? He knows about. Don't you gotta turn on the red light? I got it. Yeah. What up, Leo? I ain't that cringe. I guess I don't think it's cringe. But Paul, the donor area, did that? I guess that just went back to normal.
Like a little bit thinner, but I didn't mind, so I'd have hair on top. But look how thick it is. Look at the sides. This is where they took it all out from. So it hasn't done anything to that really. And if I need more done, or want the back part done in the future, there's plenty to take from there. But I mean, look at the results of that.
It's all right. It's fine, brother.
20 years. So I've got to say, big up Vera Clinic. I have nothing bad to say about them at all. I mean, I can't. If there was something bad to, honestly, I would say something. You know, even if it was 9 out of 10, I would tell you why it wasn't 10 out of 10. I would be honest about it, but I can't actually think of anything from the actual procedure to the aftercare. The results is the main thing, right? That's why anyone goes for a hair transplant. The results speak for themselves. I mean, I'm quite shocked. I didn't expect it to come out like this or this thick, right? So I've got to get a haircut. So excuse the mess.
Yeah, no, it's impressive, absolutely.
I mean, I'm basically speechless. So. Yeah, I can't pick up Vera Clinic enough. Recommend them enough.
I started 2 hours ago.
You know, the cheapest option or whatever, rather spend just a little bit more. It's still way cheaper than in England or any other Western countries. And get
what do they charge? Do you remember what they charge?
Professional and medically well done. And I honestly can't recommend them enough. There you go. Have one more look.
It's free for me, but 3,000 to 5,000 euro.
100%. 10 out of 10. 5-star, 10 out of 10. Nothing bad to say. All right, cheers. Okay, so this.
All right, cool. All right. I'm gonna go get everything together, and we'll jump back on. Hopefully, about 25 minutes or so. It's all right, Yolio. You weren't on a schedule. You're fine. All right. Well, I'll be back in a little bit. I'll see you guys now. I appreciate y'all being here. I'll see you guys shortly. Bye bye. 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 Bye bye.